My pranams to all Atma Jyotis, divine light of self. I welcome all of you for today's session of Akhanda Gita. Today we are covering sloka number 1.9, 1.10 and 1.11. Basically, Duryodhana is talking to Dronacharya, addressing Dronacharya.
Anye cha bahava sura madarta tyakta jivita nana shastra praharana sarve yuddha visharada aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam paryapyam tyakta tvadime tesham balam bhima ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagamavastita bhishma meva birakshantu bhavanta sarva eva hi.
So today we are taking up the sloka number 1.9 to 1.11. The soldiers of Kaurava army, we are explaining further. Who are the different soldiers? So, Gayatri ji, can you tell the meaning?
Yeah. There are several heroic warriors, Duryodhana says, who are prepared to sacrifice their lives for my sake. They are well equipped with many weapons and are very skilled in the art of warfare. Our army is guided by Grandsire Bhishma and has unlimited strength. However, Pandava's army is guided by Bhim and has limited strength. I call upon all our army commanders to stand by Bhishma and fight the war while you defend your respective strategic positions. Thank you.
So, Duryodhana is talking to Dronacharya. Now he is motivating Dronacharya. We have a very strong army, very powerful army. There are so many warriors who are very powerful and they have a lot of sophisticated technology and weapons to fight the war with Pandavas. Our army is guided by Bhishma Acharya. Bhishma is very powerful warrior. He is leading our army. He is the commander in chief. Our army is much stronger. Duryodhana says, Kaurava army is 11 Akshohini, which is quite big. Pandava army is 7 Akshohini. 11 and 7. So our army is big. Our army is powerful. Pandava's army is led by Bhima. Pandava army is governed by Bhima. Okay, it is smaller in number. But, so here there is a slight doubt is there. Duryodhana is saying, our army is big, powerful, but still it may not be strong, it may not be as powerful as Pandava army led by Bhima. Pandava army guided by Bhima is smaller, but still our army may not be strong enough to handle Bhima. Bhima and Pandava army. That's the doubt he is expressing. Then he calls upon all his army commanders. All army commanders, all of you, fight the war and support Bhishmacharya, who is our commander-in-chief. So he is motivating now. Duryodhana is motivating his army. At the same time, he is expressing doubt. We are big and strong, but still we may not be able to good match for Pandava army led by Bhima. So that doubt is also expressing. So let us understand this situation. The Kaurava army is very powerful. The main warriors of Kaurava army, I told you yesterday. Right? Today, Kaurava says our army has many more soldiers, many more powerful soldiers. Who are they? The powerful soldiers of Kaurava army are called Arishadvarga. Arishadvarga means the inner disturbances which are there in us, called Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsara, Lobha. Kama is the intense desire. Duryodhana is the mind which is going outwards. It causes intense desire, Kama. So when I want this, I want this, I want that, desire. If I get what I want, then I'll get attached to that. Moha. Or I get pride. I have this, nobody has this. If I don't get it, somebody else gets it, then I'll get anger, Krodha. Then if I don't get it, somebody else has got it, I have jealousy, Matsarya. Or I have something, but I want more of it, called Lobha. So these are all warriors of Kaurava army. Inner disturbances. Now, as I told you, Mahabharata war has 3 dimensions. Adi Bhautika, Adi Devika, Adhyatmika. At Adi Bhautika level, physical level, there is a war which happened. Mahabharata war in Kurukshetra, Haryana, 5,300 years back. So now we are speaking of Adhyatmika, the spiritual level. The Kauravas represent the forces of outgoing mind, the material desire, which will lead to Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsara, Moha, Lobha. It's called Arishadvarga. Inner enemies. Now, inner enemies of what? Inner enemies of Pandavas. See, the Pandavas are children of Panduraja. The Pandavas within us, the Pandavas, the force of Pandavas, the force of divine lights, they take us to the higher consciousness, meditative state, samadhi, merger is the God internally, inner merger. The Kauravas are trying to take our mind outwards. Pandavas are taking our mind inwards and beyond. And Kauravas are taking our mind downwards and outwards, engaging in the material world. So this inner war is there. So the Pandavas are trying to take us to Samadhi. The Draupadi who is sitting at the base of the spine goes through Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Adna and surrenders to Krishna. So these chakras represent Nakula, Sahadeva, Nakula, Arjuna, Bhima, Dharmaraya. So our energy within our body can go downwards and outwards. Look at our own life. Where is our mind going? Constantly, our mind is going downwards and outwards. The downwards 3 chakras, 3 centers of our body are Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura. Mooladhara is sex, Swadhisthana is Mooladhara is survival, Swadhisthana is sex, and Manipura is food. Food, sex, and survival takes all our activity. Our energy is going that only. Downwards and outwards. Sex, what it means is that sex, desire for sex, and taking care of the children, bringing them up. Our mind is constantly outwards. So these energies should rise to a higher center. Draupadi is the energy at the base of the spine. It's called Kundalini. Go upwards and to Adna. So that is the movement. So that's what Pandava side is. Whereas our energy is going to lower and outwards is Duryodhana, Kauravas. So these Duryodhana and Kauravas are guided by ego center. Ego center is at back of our head, just above Vishuddha and below our ear. There's a hollow, there's a pit there, hollow. That's called medulla oblongata. The medulla oblongata is the center for ego. ego formation. I am, I, sense of I, Asmita. So the ego guides Duryodhana, the downward forces, or the same ego can move up, turn under the guidance of Buddhi, it can go upwards, inwards, into the brain cavity, Sahasrara, which is the center for enlightenment. So the Pandavas are taking us, the forces of light are taking us to Samadhi. The Samadhi is two types, Jnana Samadhi and Yoga Samadhi. Jnana Samadhi comes through Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. It's called self-enquiry. Atma Vichara. With Atma Vichara, you can attain Jnana Samadhi. Yoga Samadhi is reversing our the energy flow within our spinal cord, nervous system, taking the energy flow all the way to Adna and Sahasrara. So that's called Yoga Samadhi. The Samadhis are different types. Jada Samadhi, Savikalpa Samadhi, Nirvikalpa, and Sahaja Samadhi. Jada Samadhi means somebody meditates. He almost goes like a sleep. There's no jnana. So that I give an example. A yogi was meditating near a river and he asked his disciple to bring water from the nearby village. In the meanwhile, there's a flood in the river and yogi is buried. Yogi has gone into Samadhi. The villagers come and remove him. Then he wakes up and asks for a glass of water. So he has no wisdom is there in Jada Samadhi. It is the mind has stopped unconsciously. Whereas in Savikalpa Samadhi, the ego merges with the soul, merges with the consciousness momentarily. Ego merges with the self. But ego is not destroyed. In Nirvikalpa Samadhi, through yoga or jnana, where proper Atma Vichara is done, who am I? Atma Anatma Viveka is done. Nitya Anitya Viveka is done. One can be established in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It's called Jagrata Sushupti. Jagrata Sushupti is like fully being aware. You're fully aware, like in the waking state, but fully at rest, like in sleep. So it's like two in one, sleep and waking state combined together. It's called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. It's called Jagrata Sushupti, waking sleep. As you practice it, finally it becomes Sahaja Samadhi, natural. Then you can be fully involved in the world, you can see the world, and you are always one with the higher reality, Paramatma, inwards and outwards. You can see the world, interact with the world, knowing very well the world is Mithya. In Savikalpa Samadhi, you go deep inside so that world disappears from your consciousness. You are actually aware of the inner consciousness. In Nirvikalpa, you are aware of the world, but thoughts are minimum. Okay. In Sahaja Samadhi, you are fully aware of the world. Okay. But you know world is Mithya. You can transact very well in the world, knowing very well Mithya. But at the same time, you are fully established in Brahman. So this is the Sahaja Samadhi. So Pandavas are forces who are taking us to Sahaja Samadhi, whereas Kauravas are forces who are taking to downwards and outwards in life. So just to give a little bit more clarity, in our spinal cord, there are three nadis, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna. Sushumna is the central nadi. The Sushumna nadi becomes subtler and subtler. It becomes Chitra nadi and Brahmi nadi at the top. So at the top of our brain, it is called Brahmarandra. It is the causal world. At Adna Chakra, it is a subtle world. At the physical eye level, it is gross world. So higher centers of our consciousness are present in our brain. Physical eyes, gross world. Adna Chakra, subtle world. And Brahmarandra is the causal world. A yogi does the spiritual journey all the way up to causal world and realizes oneness with the cosmic consciousness or Ishvara. So Kaurava army is consisting of Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsara, Moha, Lobha. So let me put in a very other way. So the energy, the 6 centers in our body, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Adna, and Sahasrara. These centers are occupied by the army of Kaurava. Army of Kaurava is guided with Bhishma, ego, and Drona, who is samskaras, impressions. So that comes to the center, medulla oblongata, the back, this center of the brain, medulla oblongata, just behind, above our neck, there's a pit here. So that center, Bhishma and Drona guide the Kaurava army. So the Kaurava army consists of Duryodhana at the base of the spine is material desire. I want this, I want this. Mind goes outwards. Dushasana, who is the brother of Duryodhana, is about anger. Jayadratha, I've already told you, he is clinging to life, fear of death. I want to cling to body. I want to cling life. So that is in Swadhisthana chakra. Karna, Raga and Desha. Karna and Vikarna represent Raga and Desha, Manipura chakra. So these army of Pandavas keep us bound to the outer world, material world. Shakuni is there, Shakuni Mama. He is Moha, delusion. He creates the illusion. Shalya Raja is our Mada, pride. So this is a very powerful Pandava army which occupies our nervous system, our subtle body, when guided by ego, Ahankara, Bhishmacharya. On the other hand, the Pandava army consists of Sahadeva at Muladhara chakra. Sahadeva represents Niyama. Nakula represents Yama. Yama means do's and don'ts. Niyamas don't do. Yama means do. You should do this. Arjuna is in the Manipura chakra, self-control. Bhima is a pranayama. So Bhima is the guiding the army of Pandavas. Why? Because ultimately yogic methodology, it's the prana which guides you. The spiritual journey is guided with prana. In Atma Jnana, Jnana Yoga, spiritual journey is guided by who am I? Self-enquiry. In yoga, it's the prana, the life force which guides your spiritual journey. So then comes the Bhima is about pranayama. Our prana, which is prana and mind, which is going outwards, has to be turned inwards. That's Bhima. That's why Bhima is the leader of Pandava army. Then comes the Dharmaraja. Dharmaraja or Yudhishthira represents the Vishuddha chakra, calmness, discrimination, right and wrong, dharma and adharma. Then samadhi happens at the first level of Savikalpa samadhi happens at the this center, which is that ego center, medulla oblongata. Higher level of samadhi happens in the Adna chakra and the cavity of the brain. Sri Krishna is the guru at the center of Adna chakra. Sri Krishna is the Kutastha Chaitanya or Chaitanya consciousness, which is still. Then beyond that, top of the head is Sadguru or Paramatma. So this is the spiritual journey. The Kaurava army is taking us downwards. The Pandava army is taking us upwards. So the energy moves from base of the spine all the way up to Sahasrara. All of you are welcome to look at our website, our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our channel and share with your friends. Anybody has a question on YouTube or Zoom, I can answer. So there's a question on YouTube, I'll answer that. Ramchandra is asking a question. Yoga Samadhi has no jnana concept. So does Yoga Samadhi happen only through a forceful breathing practices without a guru? That's not true, Ramachandra. Yoga Samadhi, if it's done through a forceful breathing practice, it becomes Jada Samadhi. There's no jnana. Yogis, under the guidance of proper guru, use jnana. So yoga, the question is Yoga Samadhi, does it involve jnana or not? So yoga describes 24 principles of manifestation. So these 24 principles from the Chaitanya all the way down to body. So yogis are able to systematically laya, absorb the lower principle to a higher principle and merge in the higher principle. So yogic samadhi also requires dhnana, but it's yoga dhnana. It comes from Sankhya yoga. From picture ocean, does it mean that where ego is located at the same place, Guru is also located at Atma Chakra? Why? No, I'm not saying the picture in the picture. Ego center is here, actually at the back of the brain. It's called medulla oblongata. The Guru center is here deep inside. It's called pineal gland. So they are different. Why Kauravas are shown in higher energy centers also? So Kauravas, why they Kauravas then higher energy center? Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahata, Vishuddha, Adna. So Kaurav, if you remember Mahabharata war, Kauravas occupy all the centers. Kauravas occupy all the power, and they chase out Pandavas to go to the forest. You remember? So the Kauravas occupy all the higher centers also. The negative thought, the ego and army of Kauravas will occupy all the centers of the body, even the higher centers. Finally, Pandavas have to chase them. That's the Mahabharata war. So, for example, even a most brilliant scientist who is intellectually sharp, okay, but why does he work? Food, sex, and survival. The higher center works for Duryodhana, lower center, because ego is strong. So higher centers are also occupied by Kauravas. Pandavas have gone to Vanavasa. They are not there. They are actually cheated of their kingdom. Finally, Pandavas have come back and fight the war and dethrone the Kauravas. So the question, how yoga can be considered as a spiritual journey? Because spiritual journey is to discover the true self, but yoga works only at energy level in the body. So Ramachandra's question is, yoga is a spiritual journey. Ramachandra, the spiritual journey involves two things. What we call as a purity of the heart and clarity of the intellect. Yoga is very good in the purity of the heart, chitta shuddhi, and jnana is important for clarity of the heart, clarity of the intellect. So yoga and jnana together form a good practice. That is karma yoga, bhakti yoga, or kriya yoga helps in chitta shuddhi, a purification of the mind, and jnana helps to get established in the truth. So yoga, Ramachandra says, yoga is in the manifest world 24 principles. How can yoga be Advaita Dhnana? So yoga is Dvaita Dhnana. Ramachandra is asking, how is yoga can be Advaita Dhnana? Yoga comes from Sankhya yoga. Yoga principle are derived from philosophy called Sankhya yoga. So Advaita philosophy is a parallel philosophy. So yoga can take all the way to Purusha. Purusha can be free from Prakriti. That means Sakshi, up to Sakshi, yoga can take. But in the process, lot of Chitta Shuddhi happens. So that's why I would say yoga is a good practice for Chitta Shuddhi. When chakras are blocked, does it mean Kauravas have occupied? Definitely, when chakras are blocked, means Kauravas have occupied them fully. Purity of the heart and purity of what? So what is the question? Some question? Question. I'm not able to read the question. Purity of the heart and purity of the last. Purity of the heart and purity of the mind are same. Yes, the purity of the heart or purity of the mind is lower mind. Lower mind, chitta shuddhi. Higher mind, buddhi, clarity. So buddhi is trained through viveka and vairagya. The lower mind is trained, lower mind is purified through karma yoga, kriya yoga, and bhakti yoga. Yoga is for chitta shuddhi, purification of the mind. Karma yoga, bhakti yoga, kriya yoga, which prepares you for jnana. Okay. Did I answer your questions, Ramchandra? Anybody else has any questions on Zoom?
Hari Om Prabhuji.
Hari Om Kumari.
Prabhuji, we spoke about the Drishta Dyumna in the first chapter. In this picture that we showed earlier today, where would he be on that scale?
What did I give the meaning of Drashtadimna?
You said Siya, he's this Drishta is Siya, and Dyumna is light.
He is the seer of light. It's awakening, right? He is the Drashtadimna is the leader of the Pandava army.
Right, Prabhuji.
Okay, it's awakening. Awakening to the inner journey.
Right, Prabhuji. So compared to the Kauravas and Bhima as the leader, there is no comparison, right, between them?
Between whom?
Between Drishtadyumna and Bhishma.
Bhishma is ego. Okay, Drashtadimna is awakening, enlightenment. So the Pandava army is led by Drashtadimna.
Okay, so the Pandavas army is led by wisdom, awakening, versus Kauravas, where the leader is ego.
By Bhima, ego. Bhishma.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Because see the question here, mind can be purified with jnana, not with the breathing. Because mind and intellect are same, and heart purification means compassion. It does not come with the breathing kriya. How can yoga be called a spiritual journey? So there's a question here. So when the breathing, see here, can breathing change, or breathing can or pranayama can be considered a spiritual journey? Yes. See, the yogic practice, different yogic practices, karma yoga, bhakti yoga, and kriya yoga, they'll help you to establish in sakshi, the witness. Duality will be there. But to go to the sakshi, karma, action, bhakti, devotion, and pranic energy movement can help. Because pranic energy activates various centers. These centers are closely linked with the mind. So there's a deeper purification happens, chitta shuddhi happens when these centers are activated. So that way, it is a preparatory work, preparatory for jnana. So in that sense, it's a spiritual journey. Chitta shuddhi is a preparation for jnana. Anybody else, any questions? So if there are no questions, in 5 minutes, we'll start Kannada.